good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys doing tonight? All right, as you can see, there's been a change. Uh, yeah, I cut my hair. I woke up one morning and I said, you know what? I just feel like cutting my hair. It is what it is. I just felt like cutting my hair. How y'all doing tonight? I am doing magnificent as usual. So this week, what's going on, Eli? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. How's everything working out for you, brother? All right, so I'm up here cleaning my nails while I'm supposed to be talking to everybody. So this week, I want to talk about the same thing I always talk about is life, lessons, and laughter. That's just the theme of what we doing here. Life, lessons, and laughter. Last week I talked about when life is life, and then you going through the variables of change, the inevitable change of life, going through all of that. Life is just gonna do what it is, man. It's gonna do what it do. But this week I want to talk about it because, like last week, I said, life when life changes, it actually changes you. You got to get yourself in a place where you're literally quiet to kind of figure out who you are again and all of that other stuff. And it's an interesting place to be. But during life challenges and changes and all of that, remain honorable. Remain honorable. That is very, very important for you to like literally shake and move and succeed in life. What's going on, Charles Pryor? How you doing? How you doing, my brother? You have to remain honorable because changes will happen. It's inevitable, but you cannot let that change you from who you are. You cannot let that change you from being a person that has certain morals and principles and all of that other stuff. Because, like I always say, life can and it will change. That's the only thing that's constant in life is change, and it's up to us how we like really navigate through these particular changes of life. So, like, all right, quick story. This is one is not really about me per se, so I will never say anybody's name. So I had a friend of mine. Life changes like really hit him really really hard. He's a cool cat. He was an honorable cat. All of this other stuff. But when like life started shifting for him, he literally like turned into a whole different person. Now I don't fault him for that. I turned into somebody else when life for me, but I still remained honorable. Unfortunately, with my friend, he started doing things that weren't necessarily in his character, so to speak, but it became a part of his character because he just like literally like all right, cool. This is what it is for me right now. This is who I am right now. All this extra stuff, but I'm just like, man, he's a good brother. He's a cool brother. But what happened? What happened? What happened in that time frame of when life lifed and when life shifted for him? So what happens is he allowed the situations that he was going through to quote unquote put him in a position to where he was doing things that just weren't honorable, that wasn't a part of his makeup into who he was. He finally came back to himself, but he caused a lot of damage in the process. I would never go through any specifics because then if somebody knows who he is, then they would know what I'm talking about. So, and this whole platform is never to put anybody on blast, but it's just to like I always say, life lessons and laughter. So he after he came to himself, he literally had to go back and like rebuild like relationships. And the thing about it is though, he became very honest with himself that he was the culprit, which is honorable in itself. Because like I said last week, we got to be self-aware. You have to be extremely self-aware of who we are, where we are in life, and just be super honest with ourselves and just be like, yo, you know what? I was out of pocket. It's so funny. I posted something on Facebook a few days back because I experienced something at work that just was like, wow. Like normally, what people say and do don't bother me. I'm never surprised, but just to see something that just was not honorable, like up close and personal, with my name attached to it too, which was crazy. I was just like, and then I didn't even think about because normally not normally, but just in my life, I don't care what people think. I don't care how people feel about me. Doesn't matter, right? So I came to a part where I was just like, well, I'm not gonna defend myself. I don't care to defend myself because I've created a rapport around here that people know what my character is around here. So yeah, they would know the difference. And this other person who was involved with the situation at work, she literally um let's say she has less of an honorable reputation. So everybody knew that it was just BS. Like they just knew it was a bunch of crap. So so with my and this person isn't really self aware of her nonsense. So but my friend, he became self-aware and he was honest with himself, and then he was able to rebuild relationships, regain trust with people, and to kind of like get back to where he was in terms of how I can't say how people perceive him, only because because that's cloudy in itself how people perceive you, because you can do everything right, you can cross every T, dot every I. If people are going to see you a certain way, they're just going to see you a certain way, regardless of what you say, regardless of what you do. People are literally going to see you whatever way that they're going to see you, and there's you have no control over that. So if you ever think that you have control over how people feel, you do not. I'm here to just let you know. I'm here to burst your bubble real quick. You have no control over what people feel or what people think. But he went back to cultivate. Let's go back a couple of weeks ago. He went back to cultivate these relationships again and rebuild these relationships after he figured out how out of pocket he was. And the crazy part about it is, so like I said a few days ago, I put up a post that says, I am super grateful that I am self aware enough to realize when I am out of pocket. And and you have to be, especially when you're going through changes in life, you're going through transitions in life, you have to be self-aware enough to know when you are out of pocket, and know when you're like shifting from being honorable to being something that you're not naturally. You understand what I'm saying? And that takes honesty, that takes self-awareness, it takes all of these things in order for you to realize what that is. So I'm just telling you, just letting you guys know, like, yes, life is going to life, but don't let that shift you from becoming an honorable person to someone who is not honorable. Because honor, it goes a long way. You I'm telling you, man, being honorable goes a long way. A long way. Um, you'll notice that the people that the people that aren't necessarily honorable, they will have an audience too. Because let's be honest, there are people who are just on the foolishness. They on that type of time, and birds of a feather, guess what? They flock together. But there is an army of people that are standing up to be honorable, regardless of what life brings you, regardless of what's put on your plate. There are people that's out there that are remaining honorable, and if you subscribe to being honorable, like, because you don't have to be honorable. You don't have to be that. For me, that's what I subscribe to. I do the best that I can to be a decent person, be a really good person, and like literally just lean into what's right to do. Do I hit the mark every time? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There is no such thing as a person that is perfect. There's no such thing. So nobody is gonna have it right all the time. But it's your heart and your intention is what will make you honorable. Hey Tony, how you doing? Come on, brother. Yes, thank you, honorable. Yes, yes, and that's what I strive to be. There's certain areas in my life that I'm still working on, that I'm working towards, but you gotta work. You gotta work towards that. Work, because if you don't work it, if you don't try, you're gonna stay in the same place. And when life start lifing, you're gonna be stuck. Bottom line, you're gonna be stuck, and you don't want to be stagnant because there's no growth in in anything that's stagnant. You got to constantly move. You got to constantly hustle. You got to constantly try to make things work. You got to do it. And if you don't, I mean, that's your business too. You don't have to. Like everything that I talk about, like real talk, honestly, you don't have to follow anything that I'm saying. You don't. You have the free choice. It's your volition to do what you want, when you want, how you want. But, I live by certain principles and morals, so I wouldn't necessarily rock with somebody that's not on the same time as I am, you know? And if you subscribe to that, you would literally do the same thing. You would literally, sit back, take self inventory of where you are, how you are, and especially if you're going through things, you'll figure out like, oh my God, I let this change me. How do I fix this? And like I said last week, you'll get yourself in a quiet place to figure that out. Because if you're always constantly around people, if you're always constantly around noise, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult for you to like really figure out who you are, where you are, in the direction that you need to go, in the direction and the steps that you need to take to kind of fix certain things about yourself. Because it ain't always about other people, and we get that twisted. And I keep telling people like social media got us all messed up. Social media got us all messed up. This is a place that you come for as much attention as you possibly need, and you will get it here. You could just I see people that be bleeding all over social media just for attention and all of that other stuff, but that's not good for you, because most people don't care. They don't care. If you're looking for some real change, you're going to get to a quiet place, take self-inventory. You're not going to be running to social media, putting all of your feels out there, all of your emotions out there, because people honestly don't care. People are looking to be entertained, and people will be entertained by your pain. Let me tell y'all that again. People are entertained by other people's pain. So I don't want to see nobody bleeding on social media. Nobody. Making certain things, making like bringing awareness to certain things is a completely different story than sitting there bleeding on social media. Completely different story. But if you're honest with yourself and you're taking self inventory and like, you know what? I need to work on certain things. You're going to slide over to a quick, quiet place and really do the work that is necessary for the positive changes that needs to happen in your life. And if you find yourself teetering, and like I said, man, it takes honesty. If you find yourself kind of tottering on that thin line of what's honorable, what's not, you continue to find yourself teeter-tottering on that line and you're self-aware enough, you're going to take that time to sit still. You're going to take that time to really like, whoa, okay, I'm almost on this side of the fence. I'm almost on that side of the fence. What side of the fence do I really want to be on? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I do my very best to be authentic. What side of the fence do you want to be on? You have to decide that, because if you're just straddling in the fence, I mean, it's gonna be very, very difficult for you to find genuine people in your life. Because if you're aiming to go in a certain direction in your life, people that are in that direction, they're focused. They're focused, and you're gonna have to like really get yourself focused in order to be in certain areas and certain arenas. Like focus is gonna be key. Focus is going to be key for you to make the necessary changes that you need to make for your life. Like literally, like at the end of the day, telling y'all, man, telling you at the end of the day, you really have to not straddle that line. You're going to have to go on this side or that side. And because of social media, it was like, why can't you be both? Why can't you do both? This is the time you can feel. This is all about your emotions now. It's how you feel. And how. Listen, nobody cares about how you feel. Nobody cares. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you feel. I don't care about you bleeding on social media. I'm going to go right by your post if I see some bleeding going on. I'll be like, oh, you need attention today. Oh. Nobody cares. Listen, nobody cares. Stop bleeding on social media. Go get a therapist. Therapy is actually dope, y'all. It's dope. I've seen it actually work for people. Have I gone through therapy myself? I think I need to. It's not like anything is wrong. I'm not saying that something's wrong, but I think I do need to get certain things, like to make certain things of it. Now, once you get to a quiet place, right? Like, check this out. Let's go back to the quiet place, right? A quiet place does not necessarily mean that you are alone in this quiet place. So, quiet place could be just you and someone else who can help you navigate through the changes of life. Hear me out. Your quiet place can be with someone else who will help navigate you through the changes of life. Very important, y'all. Very important. It's very important, guys. I'm not going to be on here long. I'm going to be out the way in a few minutes, like literally a few minutes. But like, so like for me, like anything that like kind of I've decided, to make sure that I talk about certain things that transpired between last week, this week, and so on and so forth. And then like it literally sparked my thought of being honorable even in the midst of the change. And everything goes back to like, we're being honorable in the midst of the change, but everything goes back to being honest with yourself, being honest with who you are. Everything starts with honesty, and not honesty with other people. Of course, you're gonna be honest, honest with other people, honorable with other people, but you got to start with yourself, because there's so many of us that lie to ourselves. We lie to ourselves on a daily basis because it's very difficult for us to face ourselves. We can face other people, and like literally it's okay. We're good. We hard. We can face other people. What's going on, Chris Brunson? How you doing, my brother? It is we can face other people, and we're okay with facing other people, but we're terrified of the man or the woman in the mirror. We're afraid to face that demon that is inside of us. So we lie to ourselves to tell ourselves that ain't there. That person isn't there. That thing that we carry isn't there. What's going on, Antoine? How you doing, my brother? That thing that we're carrying, that thing that we're holding on to isn't there when it is. We're just afraid to face ourselves head on, because most of the time you're afraid of what's going to come out. I'm not saying what's coming out to other people, but you're afraid of what the truth that's going to come out to yourself about yourself. Because like I said, social media, this is the age of everything is wonderful with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Everything is perfect. You are perfect. Everything is wrong with everybody else, which is breeding a whole nation of people that are not self-aware. And that is to our detriment. Man, being self-aware will help us get through any challenge of life. But if you follow Meek, speak a word, Doc. Come on, Meek. But if you follow everything that's going on with social media, if you follow all of this extra stuff, it will put you in a state of like not being aware of who you are, not being aware of what you're doing, not being aware of the damage that you are causing, not even letting you know that you, like, not even putting you in a position of being aware enough to know that you are no longer being honorable. That's like, woo, mind blowing. Because we've all been blinded. We've all been blinded at one point or the other. And my suggestion, like I said, free will. This is free will, guys. Do what you want, how you want. But my suggestion is you get to a place where you're quiet and take self-inventory. Get to a place. What's going on, Preveris? How you doing, my brother? Get to a place where you can sit with someone who can help you navigate through the changes of life. That's also a quiet place because, it's not with everything. Hey, how you doing, Darlene? Yeah, man, this convo is helping me, man, because I've learned, like, I've literally learned, because, like, naturally, like, my friends, if you're close enough to me, you know that I go silent. And I go silent for a long time. It is not that, I'm bored with people or anything like that. It's just like I got so much going on, and I can feel myself not being myself. I can feel myself not being who I normally am. So I just get quiet, self-inventory, just like, whew, sit back, like, whoa, chill out, take a breather. Take a breather. Let's get back to basics. Let's get back to, like, really, really figuring out who you are, how you're reacting to other people. Like, man, listen. So at work, right? Like, everybody know at this point that I work for Delta, right? So I'm a supervisor for Delta. Where if you ever travel Delta, you see the people that's wearing red. Those are supervisors. They call us redcoats. And literally our job is to manage emotions all day long. Manage emotions and making sure that the operation is running smooth. And now, like I said, I'm being trained for the next level above that. So it's watching more of what's going on. But I find myself, like, if I'm managing emotions of thousands of people every day that I'm running into, and not just customers, but also my coworkers, just manage emotions, it literally drains you. It literally drains you. So that's why it's really important for me to always be in a quiet place and, like, really take self-inventory, because there are times that I miss. I literally miss the mark, and I can become super agitated, and that's not necessarily in my personality to be always agitated, because naturally I'm a helper. I help people. Like, transform. I help people. Like, I literally, I'm how can I put it without sounding churchy? I'm an atmosphere shifter. Literally. That sounds churchy, but it is what it is. I'm an atmosphere shifter, Doc. No, but seriously, I'm an atmosphere shifter. And so wherever I go, the atmosphere shifts to what I put in it. I literally can change anybody's mood, literally. But oh, you right. It's not for church, but it sounds churchy to me. It sounds churchy to me. I do change the atmosphere everywhere I go. There is a change that's noticeable everywhere I go, and people still, and at this point at work, people are still trying to figure out, who do I know to get to where I am in that company in under 3 years. It just doesn't happen like that. People still trying to figure out, how am I a supervisor of something that I've never worked? I know how to do the job now, but people are figuring out, how did you become this supervisor if you've never done what the people you supervise do? Yeah, Darlene, definitely. It's very challenging. It's very challenging. So I come home drained, especially on the nights where everything during that day seems to be going wrong. Planes ain't getting out on time, people missing their flights and all of that other stuff. And everybody want to talk to the redcoat. Everybody want to talk to the guy in charge. So I get the brunt of people's anger all day long. All day long. And 95% of the people that walk away from me feel better. Even if I couldn't change the circumstances, even if I could not get them out of the way, it's because of what I carry, and being that atmosphere shifter. But with me being able to do all of that, it puts me in a situation where I would literally have to check myself from time to time, because that could be so draining. It can pull so much from me, pull so much out of me, that like who I am, what I feel like is like it. I can be snappy, I can be rude sometimes, because I feel like all the virtue has been pulled out of me and I have nothing left to pour into me, and that's life. That's life. Life is going to hand you whatever it is, but you got to get into a quiet place. That's why it's very important for me to be somewhere quiet, so I can regain and gather myself again. How long have I been on here? Oh my God, 27 minutes. All right. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, virtue is churchy meat. Yeah, it is. Whatever. And I am in my beautiful edifice. Here in the layer of the edifice. But yeah, so I've been talking way too long. I do apologize for that. I try to be at like 20, 22 minutes, but I'm here at like 27 for no apparent reason. And I do apologize. But hey, whatever. So if you guys didn't take anything from this, just know I was done, meat. I was done. So just know this, that life is going to life. Things are going to happen. But remain honorable in those changes. Remain honorable during these changes. Take self-inventory. See if you're teetering that fence. Either you can go to the left or you can go to the right. If you're this balance of, am I going to stay honorable? Am I going to be this or be that? Be on the side that is naturally and who you are, and that's going to put you in a space of something positive. And if you don't want to be positive, that's you. You don't have to be. You can be negative, but just either be one or the other. Don't be both. Be one or the other. So thank you guys for listening. Like I always say, hey, what's up, Danielle? You say you logged in just in time. I'm about to get off. Virtue is churchy, and it doesn't matter because going to church is a religious part. We've been doing church wrong, and no one wants it. No, we have definitely. That's right, bots. You gonna be you, and Davion is like, this dude. Literally is who he is, no matter what. No matter what. And it's hilarious. This guy has no idea how much joy he brings me on a daily basis with his foolishness. I love it. If I don't get to tell you, Davion, I love it. Yeah. And you're right. You are. Where did you go? I just had it. Darlene, you are right. We've been doing church wrong forever. And unfortunately, a lot of this church stuff is for that one person that's in charge. It's to help them out, that one person that's in charge, to make their pockets fat, or to feed that child that never got attention. That's why they out here being all extra on these microphones, telling people what to do, and just being just all outlandish because nobody told them that they mattered when they were a kid. Nobody told them that they mattered. So now they became somebody's pastor and out here acting and talking crazy and doing all this other stuff about to get themselves smacked by people. No, and I don't condone any violence or anything like that. That we going around smacking pastors and all of that. But that's why people are doing church in a, I would say, I'm gonna be honest, in a stupid way, in a way that is completely self-centered. In a way that's completely self-centered, has nothing to do with God. Wow, this has nothing to do with what I was going to talk about, but this is necessary to talk about. Something that has nothing to do with God, an abuse of power, like Meek said. Yeah, man, yo, like Bots just said this, man. This is crazy. He said we'll replace authenticity and anointing with popularity and entertainment. So true, Bots, man. Like, it's crazy. You see these people up here, especially with these idiotic clown ding, 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 praise breaks, and everybody all of a sudden you want to turn on the camera when it's your turn to shout, or you supposed to be in intercessory prayer or on like the altar and all this other stuff, but you got a camera there laying prostrate. That's so weird. That is so weird. And like Mika said, it's an abuse of power. They out here tripping, acting stupid, acting crazy for no apparent reason, because somebody didn't tell them that they mattered when they was younger. Somebody didn't tell them that they loved them when they was younger, and they're just out here just being crazy. So I am going to wrap this up because that's not what this is about, but somebody needed to hear this. I've been on this way too long, 32 minutes. This is not my steez. Listen, like I always say, right? Bots, 80s church, early 90s, that's it. That's it. That's it. As soon as the super huge mega churches came through and all these other pastors was trying to get to that point, they lost their authenticity, man. Everybody was just trying to reach a certain goal, and they thought success with church was numbers, a whole bunch of people, and they just started wilding out, man. All right. So I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all can continue this conversation out here because I'm not going to talk about this no more. Like I always tell y'all, man, you can be doing anything tonight, but you guys gave me 32 minutes of your time, and I am super grateful for this. You gave me something that you cannot get back. Time is the number one investment that you can never get a return on, and you gave it to me. So you guys remember, life, lessons, and laughter. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about the lessons that we learned, and let's laugh at it. You guys have a good night. Thank you.